My name is Emma. Today, I have a good job. I smile every morning when I go to work. I have kind friends, a nice apartment, and a happy life. But my life was not always like this. 3 years ago, everything was different. I was 23 years old. I lived in a small apartment with my mother. My father died when I was very young. My mother worked very hard to raise me. She worked long hours in a small clothing shop. She always smiled, but I knew she was tired. After I finished college, I looked for a job every day. Every morning, I opened my laptop. I sent my resume to many companies. 1 company, 5 companies, 10 companies, 20 companies. Sometimes I received no answer. Sometimes I received an email that said, "Thank you for your application, but we have chosen another candidate." Those words hurt me every time. One afternoon, I sat on my bed. I looked at my phone. Nothing. No calls, no emails, no interviews. I felt very sad. My mother came into my room. She sat beside me. She gently held my hand. "Emma," she said softly, "don't lose hope." I looked at her. "What if nobody wants to hire me?" I asked. She smiled. "The right opportunity will come." I wanted to believe her, but it was difficult. The next morning, I checked my email again. There was one new message. My heart started beating faster. The subject said, "Interview invitation." I quickly opened the email. A company wanted to meet me. The interview was on Friday morning. I jumped from my chair. "Mom!" I shouted. She ran into my room. "What happened?" "I have an interview." She hugged me tightly. "I knew it," she said with happy tears. For the next 3 days, I prepared carefully. I practiced answering interview questions. I ironed my clothes. I polished my shoes. I wanted to make a good first impression. Friday finally arrived. I woke up very early. I wore a white shirt, a black skirt, and simple black shoes. I looked into the mirror. "You can do this," I whispered. After breakfast, I took the bus to the city. The company was in a tall glass building. It looked modern and beautiful. Many people walked in and out. Everyone looked busy. I suddenly felt nervous. What if I fail? I thought. I took a deep breath. Then I walked inside. The receptionist smiled. "Good morning." "Good morning," I replied. "I have an interview." She checked her computer. "Please wait for a few minutes." I sat quietly in the waiting area. There were other people too. Some looked confident. Some looked nervous like me. After 10 minutes, a young man came. "Emma?" "Yes." "Please come with me." We walked to the third floor. He opened a meeting room. "There will be 2 interviewers." I nodded. A few seconds later, 2 people entered. One was a woman. The other was a man. The man looked about 40 years old. He wore a navy blue suit. His face looked serious, but his eyes were kind. He smiled. "Good morning, Emma." "Good morning. My name is Daniel Carter. I am the general manager." The woman introduced herself too. "My name is Sarah. We work together." The interview started. At first, I felt nervous. My hands were cold, but Daniel smiled often. His calm voice helped me relax. He asked, "Why do you want to work here?" I answered honestly. "I want to learn new skills. I want to help the company, and I want to build a better future." He nodded. Then he asked, "What is your biggest strength?" I thought for a moment. "I work hard. I never give up. I enjoy learning." He smiled again. "Good answer." The interview lasted about 30 minutes. At the end, Daniel stood up. "Thank you for coming. We will contact you soon." I shook his hand. "Thank you for your time." When I left the building, I did not know if I would get the job, but something surprised me. I felt proud. For the first time in many months, I believed in myself. That evening, my mother asked, "How was the interview?" "I think it went well." She smiled. "I'm proud of you." 3 days later, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered quickly. "Hello?" "Hello, Emma. This is Sarah from Bright Vision Company." My heart almost stopped. "We are happy to offer you the position." For a moment, I could not speak. Then I smiled. "Really?" "Yes." "When can you start?" "Monday." "I'll be there." After the call ended, I screamed with joy. My mother hugged me. We both cried. Not because we were sad, because we were happy. Monday came very quickly. I arrived at the office before 8 o'clock. Everything felt new. New desk, new computer, new people. I was excited, but I was also afraid. What if I made mistakes? Around 9 o'clock, Daniel walked into the office. He looked at everyone and smiled. Then he came to my desk. "Good morning, Emma." "Good morning, sir." He laughed softly. "Please call me Daniel." I smiled. "Okay, Daniel." He looked around the office. Then he said something I will never forget. "Everyone makes mistakes, but every mistake is a chance to learn. If you need help, ask. We are a team." His words made me feel safe. That morning, I did my best. I learned how to use the company's computer system. I met my teammates. Everyone was friendly. Still, I worried about making mistakes. Little did I know, one small mistake a few days later would completely change my life. And my boss, Daniel, would teach me a lesson I would remember forever. My first week at the company was exciting. Every morning I arrived early. I cleaned my desk. I turned on my computer. Then I smiled and said, "Good morning to everyone." Slowly, I learned everyone's name. Sarah was patient. Michael liked to tell funny jokes. Linda always brought homemade cookies. Everyone worked hard, but everyone was kind. I wanted to become part of this wonderful team. Still, I was afraid of making mistakes. Everything was new. The computer programs were new. The office rules were new. Even answering phone calls made me nervous. Every evening, I went home tired, but I also felt happy. I was finally building my future. One Monday morning, Daniel called me into his office. "Emma," he said with a smile, "I have a small task for you." "Yes, Daniel." "I need you to send this report to one of our clients before noon." He handed me a folder. "This is an important client. Please check everything carefully before sending it." "I will," I answered confidently. I returned to my desk. I opened the report. I checked every page. Everything looked perfect. I attached the file to an email. I typed a short message. Then I clicked send. I smiled proudly. My first important task, I thought. About 30 minutes later, Sarah suddenly walked to my desk. "Emma." Her face looked serious. "Did you send the report?" "Yes." She looked worried. "I think you sent the wrong file." My heart stopped. "What?" She opened my email. There it was. I had attached an old report, not the new one. The wrong report had already reached the client. My hands became cold. I am so sorry." Sarah quickly stood up. "Come with me." We walked to Daniel's office. Every step felt heavy. I thought, this is my first big mistake. They will fire me. Daniel looked up. "What happened?" Sarah explained everything. I could not look at him. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "It was my fault." For a few seconds, the room was completely quiet. Then Daniel smiled. "It happened." I looked up in surprise. He wasn't angry. He wasn't shouting. He simply asked, "What have you learned?" I blinked. I learned that I must check every attachment before sending an email. He nodded. "Exactly." Then he stood up. Everyone makes mistakes. I have made many mistakes. Sarah smiled. Michael made mistakes. Linda made mistakes. Even I still make mistakes. I looked at him with surprise. You? He laughed. Of course. No one is perfect. Then his voice became serious. The important question is not, did you make a mistake? The important question is, what will you do after the mistake? His words stayed in my heart. He continued, now let's solve the problem together. He called the client. He apologized politely. Then he sent the correct report. The client understood. Everything became normal again. No one blamed me. No one laughed at me. That afternoon, I sat quietly at my desk. Daniel walked over. He placed a cup of coffee beside me. You still look worried. I'm embarrassed. He smiled kindly. Emma, confidence doesn't come from never making mistakes. It comes from learning after every mistake. I slowly smiled. I understand. Good. The next few weeks became much easier. I became more careful. I checked every email twice, sometimes 3 times. I wrote small notes to help myself remember important tasks. Slowly, I became faster. My confidence grew every day. One afternoon, Daniel stopped by my desk. I've noticed something. What? You never give up. I smiled. I try my best. I know. And that's why you'll succeed. His words gave me new energy. After work, I often stayed 10 or 15 minutes longer. Not because someone asked me, because I wanted to learn. I watched Sarah organize files. I learned from Michael how to speak politely with customers. Linda showed me useful computer shortcuts. Every day I learned something new. One Friday evening, the office became quiet. Most people had already gone home. I was organizing some papers when Daniel walked past. You're still here? Yes. I wanted to finish today's work. He looked at me for a moment. Then he smiled. Come with me. We walked to the small coffee area. He made 2 cups of tea. Then we sat near the window. Outside, the city lights were beautiful. For a few minutes, neither of us spoke. Finally, Daniel asked, Emma, can I tell you a story? Of course. When I was your age, I lost my first job. I looked at him with surprise. You did? Yes. I was careless. I thought I knew everything. I ignored advice. So my company let me go. What happened then? I was angry. I blamed everyone. But later, I realized the truth. What truth? The problem wasn't the company. The problem was me. I listened carefully. So I changed. I became more responsible. I listened more. I learned every day, and little by little, my life changed. He smiled. That is why I never judge someone for one mistake. I judge people by their attitude. Those words touched my heart deeply. On my way home that night, I kept thinking about them. I judge people by their attitude. I repeated them again and again. From that day, something changed inside me. I stopped fearing mistakes. Instead, I started focusing on learning, and that simple change began to change my entire life. A few months passed. Every day I became more confident. I no longer felt afraid when my phone rang. I could answer customers politely. I could write professional emails. I could organize reports without help. The office no longer felt like a strange place. It felt like my second home. One Monday morning, Daniel called everyone into the meeting room. He stood in front of us with a smile. I have good news, he said. Our company has a very important new client. Everyone smiled. This project is very important for our future. Then Daniel looked around the room. I need one person to help me organize this project. For a moment, the room became quiet. Then Daniel looked directly at me. Emma, My eyes became wide. Yes, I want you to work with me. I could hardly believe it. Me? Yes, but I still have a lot to learn. Daniel smiled. And that is exactly why I chose you. I looked confused. He continued. You listen. You ask questions. You work hard, and you care about doing your best. Those qualities are more important than experience. His words filled me with confidence. I won't disappoint you. I know you won't. The next few weeks were very busy. Every morning, Daniel and I reviewed the client's documents. We checked every detail carefully. Sometimes we worked until late evening. Daniel never became angry. Even when problems appeared, he stayed calm. One afternoon, I accidentally deleted an important spreadsheet. My heart raced. Oh no, I deleted it. I looked at Daniel. I'm so sorry. Instead of getting upset, he smiled. Relax. There is always a solution. He opened the backup folder. There it is. I sighed with relief. He laughed. Computers are smarter than we think. We both laughed together. As the days passed, I learned much more than office work. Daniel taught me about people. He always greeted the security guard. He thanked the cleaning staff. He remembered everyone's birthday. He listened when people spoke. One day I asked him, "Why do you always remember everyone's name?" He smiled. Because every person wants to feel important. If you respect people, they will respect you. I never forgot those words, so I started doing the same. Every morning I smiled at everyone. I learned more names. I thanked people for helping me. The office became even friendlier. One afternoon, something unexpected happened. A new employee arrived. Her name was Olivia. She looked exactly like I had looked on my first day. Nervous, quiet, scared. She sat alone during lunch. I remembered my own first week. I walked over with my lunch tray. May I sit here? She smiled shyly. Yes, I'm Emma. I'm Olivia. She looked worried. I don't think I'm good enough for this job. I smiled. I said the same thing on my first day. Really? Yes. And now? I still learn every day. She laughed. That afternoon, I showed her how to organize files. I explained the computer system. I answered her questions. She thanked me many times. The next morning, Daniel stopped by my desk. I saw you helping Olivia yesterday. I smiled. I remembered my first week. He nodded proudly. Very good. Knowledge becomes more valuable when we share it. Again, another lesson. Another sentence I would never forget. Weeks later, our big project was finally finished. Everyone gathered in the meeting room. The client loved our work. They thanked our company. Everyone clapped. Daniel stood up. This success belongs to all of us. Then he surprised me again. I want to give special thanks to Emma. I felt my face become warm. She worked hard. She stayed positive. And she helped others. The whole room applauded. I almost cried. For the first time in my life, I truly believed in myself. That evening, I called my mother. Mom, I have wonderful news. What happened? My boss praised me in front of everyone. I'm so proud of you. So am I. We both laughed. Then she said something simple. I always believed in you. I smiled. I know. As I walked home under the evening sky, I realized something important. When I first joined the company, I thought success meant earning money. Now I understood the truth. Success was much bigger than money. It was learning, growing, helping others, and becoming a better person every single day. Daniel had not only taught me how to work, he had taught me how to live. But the biggest surprise of my life was still waiting for me. 1 year passed very quickly. Sometimes I could hardly believe it. 1 year ago, I was afraid to answer a phone call. Now I could speak with clients confidently. I could solve problems. I could train new employees. Every day I remembered Daniel's advice. Never stop learning. Those words became part of my life. One Monday morning, Daniel asked me to come to his office. As I walked toward his room, I wondered, did I do something wrong? I knocked gently. "Come in," Daniel said. I entered and sat down. He smiled. "Emma, do you remember your first day here?" I laughed. "Of course." I was so nervous. "You looked like you wanted to run away." We both laughed. Then his face became serious. "I've been watching your progress." My heart started beating faster. "You've become responsible. You help your teammates. You treat everyone with respect. You solve problems calmly." He paused for a moment. "I have something important to tell you." I waited quietly. "Our company is opening a new department. We need a team leader." I smiled politely. "That's wonderful." Then Daniel looked directly into my eyes. "I want you to become that team leader." For a few seconds, I could not speak. "Me?" "Yes. But there are people with more experience." "Experience is important," Daniel replied. "But character is even more important. You've earned everyone's trust." I felt tears fill my eyes. I don't know what to say. "Just say yes." I laughed through my tears. "Yes, I would be honored." Daniel stood up and shook my hand. "Congratulations, team leader." The news spread through the office. Everyone congratulated me. Sarah hugged me. I knew this day would come. Michael smiled. "You deserve it." Linda gave me a small gift. Inside the box was a beautiful notebook. On the first page she had written, "A good leader helps others grow." I smiled. "I'll keep this forever." My first week as a team leader was not easy. Now people came to me with questions. Sometimes they made mistakes. Sometimes they felt nervous. Then I remembered Daniel. He had never shouted at me. He had always listened first, so I did the same. One afternoon, Olivia accidentally sent the wrong invoice to a client. She came to my desk with tears in her eyes. "I'm so sorry. I think you'll be angry." I smiled gently. "No. Let's solve the problem together." She looked surprised. "You're not upset?" Everyone makes mistakes. I recognized those words immediately. They were Daniel's words, now. They had become my words. We corrected the mistake. The client understood. Everything was fine. Before going home, Olivia smiled. "Thank you. You remind me of Daniel." Her words touched my heart. A few months later, the company organized its annual celebration. There was music. There was delicious food. Everyone looked happy. After dinner, the company director walked onto the stage. He gave a short speech. Then he smiled. "This year's Employee of the Year is—" My heart beat faster. "Emma?" For a moment, I thought I had heard the wrong name. Everyone clapped loudly. Sarah smiled. Michael whistled. Linda cheered. Daniel looked at me proudly. I slowly walked to the stage. The director handed me a beautiful glass trophy. "Congratulations. You've inspired many people this year." I thanked him. Then someone handed me a microphone. I looked at all my coworkers. I took a deep breath. When I joined this company, I was afraid. I believed I wasn't good enough. But one person believed in me. I looked toward Daniel. He didn't teach me only how to work. He taught me how to believe in myself. The room became very quiet. I learned that success isn't about being perfect. It's about learning. It's about kindness. It's about helping others. And it's about never giving up. Everyone applauded. I noticed Daniel quietly wiping away a tear. After the celebration, we walked outside together. The night sky was full of stars. We stood silently for a moment. Finally, I said, "Thank you." Daniel smiled. "For what?" "For changing my life." He shook his head. I didn't change your life. You changed it. I only opened the door. You chose to walk through it. I thought about his words. He was right. A teacher can guide us. A boss can encourage us. A friend can support us. But in the end, we must choose to keep moving forward. That night, I returned home. My mother was waiting for me. She saw the trophy in my hands. Her eyes filled with tears. I knew you could do it. I hugged her tightly. We did it together. She smiled. I'm proud of the woman you've become. I smiled back. And I'm proud to be your daughter. Sometimes people ask me, what changed your life? Was it the new job? Was it the promotion? Was it the award? I always give the same answer. No. What changed my life was meeting a boss who believed in people. A boss who taught me that mistakes are lessons. A boss who showed me that kindness is stronger than fear. Today, whenever I meet someone who feels lost or afraid, I remember my own first day. I smile. I listen. I encourage them, because one small act of kindness can change someone's future. Just as it changed mine. My boss changed my life. And because of him, I hope I can help change someone else's life too. If you like my story, please like and comment and subscribe this channel. Thanks for watching.